Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another week of Ryan Runs Boulder. I'm Ryan Lawrence with eXp Realty, and I was born and raised here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, and I would love to help you buy or sell your next home. If this is your first time to the channel, each week we make a new video about a listing or a neighborhood or some feature of the city that I think you'll find enjoyable. So please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Today I figured I'd tell you a little bit about my background and then also my thoughts regarding the pros and cons of living in Boulder, Colorado. So a little bit about myself. I was born in Boulder in 1985, and then I went on to went to Foothill Elementary, Centennial Middle School, Boulder High School, go Panthers, and then I also went to CU Boulder and graduated there in 2008 with an architecture degree. And then I have been in real estate since 2016. Some of my hobbies include photography, running, anything outdoors really, cycling, hiking, walking, and then also playing guitar and drums. So yeah, there's one of my guitars right there. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of living in Boulder, the way I see it, just from growing up here. The city has definitely changed over time in terms of, growing up, I don't really remember it being like an expensive city or not, but it seems like that's definitely what it's known as now. And also it feels like it has shifted a little bit. It used to be a little more crunchy, hippie kind of granola. And now it's definitely a little fancier in general. So I'd say, it is definitely, pretty expensive. And, but I'd say the main thing that has stayed consistent in terms of why you should live in Boulder, and this will be the pro section, is just the outdoors. So if you love outdoors, Boulder, that's what it's all about, the cultures. So yeah, in Boulder, there are roughly 150 miles of trails in the city. So that's a lot of trails. So if you like running, walking, hiking, and biking, 150 miles of trails and also 60 parks located throughout the city. And then also, outside of the city, you do have, the mountains are right there. You have big mountains. We have the 14ers, which are, we have, 50 plus mountains in the state that are over 14,000 feet tall. They're nearby. And then also, in terms of skiing, the closest ski resort is Eldora Ski Resort, which is about 45 minutes away. And then a lot of the bigger resorts, or the more common ones you've heard of, like Copper and Vail and things like that, those are more like 90 minutes to 2 hours or more. And that depends on, winter traffic too. But those are, so Boulder is, it's not quite a ski town per se, but you do have plenty of skiing nearby. I would also say the location of it in terms of being close to Denver, downtown Denver is also roughly 45 minutes away. But Boulder is not too big of a city. The population in Boulder is roughly 105,000 people, and roughly 30,000 of those are CU students. So depending on if the students are there or not, that definitely changes the vibe of the city. So in the summer, there's less students there, but then it is also tourist season, so it can, so there's just a shift in the city in that regard. But in terms of being close to Denver, you do have all the amenities of a big city. So we have, the Colorado Rockies, the Colorado Avalanche, the Denver Nuggets. We have the big sports teams. We do also have all this stuff. We have Broadway shows and plenty of restaurants, and any amenity you'd want from a big city is in Denver. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is also because we have an international airport, that's also roughly 45 minutes away from Boulder. The Denver airport offers the largest domestic network in the country, and it offers nonstop service to over 205 destinations in the country. So that's pretty cool. So depending on where you do currently live, I'm not sure how easily you can get from one place to another, if you always have to make a connection or how that works. But yeah, the nice thing about being in Denver is, or by the Denver airport, is that you're kind of in the middle of the country and you can fly to a lot of places direct. You can go to Europe direct from here, you can go to Hawaii directly from here, and then, so many places throughout the US. So that is definitely a nice feature. In terms of our weather, the weather is, it can be kind of funny, but overall it's pretty mild. In the summer it can get really hot, but it is a dry climate here, so it isn't like a crazy, humid, sweaty mess like it can be, in Florida or something. We don't have the humidity. So in the summer, even when it's like 90 or 95 degrees, like it is hot, but as long as you can find some shade somewhere, it really isn't too bad. And then in the winter, we do definitely get plenty of snow, but we'll have plenty of days where it'll snow in the morning, and then by the afternoon the sun is out and like the snow will have melted. So every once in a while we will have a freeze or deep freeze kind of where it'll be maybe cold and gray for a week or 2 weeks, maybe, very rarely. But in general it'll kind of snow and then it'll be gone within like a couple days and the sun is shining again. So that is a pretty nice feature of the area. I would say another pro of living in Boulder is with the university being here, it makes it just kind of a fun, dynamic environment. So definitely the college is a big part of the town, but that also means that there's all kinds of sporting events going on, like a basketball game or a football game or volleyball or whatever, and they have musical performances there, all kinds of things. There's also the Conference on World Affairs that happens every year, and that's a pretty big draw that brings people in all over the country that they discuss all kinds of issues throughout the world. So without the school, the city, I think it would kind of just be, well, it would be a sleepier town. But with the college here, there's always kind of something going on. I would say the college can also be a con depending on, if you live closer to campus, maybe the students, students are gonna be students, so they're learning how to navigate life, but they'll be sometimes they might be partying or whatever it is, so maybe that can be annoying, but also and they can affect traffic because maybe they're driving around, but like I said, they're not always here, so you have that. There's kind of the ebb and flow of the year, of the school year, and how that affects the city. So that's definitely something to think about. I don't know if I'd necessarily call this like a pro or a con. It just kind of depends about what political affiliation you have. I know we just had the big election. So in Boulder County, there's roughly 220,000 registered voters. And of those 220,000, roughly 40% are Democrat. About 10% are Republican, and then the remaining 50% are unaffiliated. So depending on your political affiliation, that's pretty much the breakdown of the politics around here. So just wanted to inform you of that. So now you might be wondering, I've been kind of like rambling on like, oh my gosh, Boulder is like so great. So, so I'd say, so now that gets to the part of the cons part of living in Boulder. So I'd say the main thing is really just the expense. So in the most recent complete month since filming this, October 2024, the median single-family home price sold was $1.4 million, so that's pretty high. And then also it's the median attached dwelling home price, so condos and townhouses, that was $485,000 for October 2024. So, that's definitely pretty expensive depending on what part of the country you're coming from. I know I have friends in Illinois that they have like a pretty nice house, like in rural Illinois, that's like, 3-bed, 2-bath, and it costs like $100,000. And that same kind of thing here is gonna be 10 times that. So I'd say, yeah, so the expense part of it is definitely a factor. But I'd say a lot of what you're paying for isn't really the house itself, it's more the area. So like we were saying, it's related to all the nature, to proximity to Denver, the airport, that'll get you anywhere, the ski resorts, just the lifestyle. So if that is something that's appealing, then that is, that's what it's gonna cost you. The other con that's also a pro, I'd say, is just the university being here. The university is a big part of the city. So depending on if you're interested in seeing what a university has to offer or not, that can definitely be a pro or a con. But like I said, the cons related to the college are more just like the students, they can be rowdy and be crazy, partying and stuff, and the traffic and congestion that they create. But I see, Yeah, the students, that's just a pro and con sort of depending on the day. Another con I'd say is just the traffic in general, depending on the city you're coming from. If you're coming from New York City or Washington, D.C. or something, you're used to like sitting in traffic like all the time. So you probably will come here and you'll be like, no problem. But from me growing up here, I've definitely seen the city, in general, it feels like there was a time where you could go from one end to the other, and it would take like 10 or 15 minutes or something. But I'd say sometimes now it can be where it takes maybe half an hour. But that being said, the city, the actual land area is just not that big. So if you can avoid driving, like if the weather is nice, if you can walk or bike, with our bike network that we have, you can definitely go faster than the cars, depending on where you need to go and what you're bringing with you. So there are nice alternatives that way. We do have a bus system that's like okay. There's no subway or anything like that. So hopefully that'd be nice if we had some sort of train system someday, but we don't yet. On the note of the traffic, there's roughly 105,000 people that live in the city when the students are here. The students make up, roughly 30,000 of those 105,000. But supposedly there's roughly 60,000 people that commute into the city every day. So on weekdays, the population of the city goes, from around 100,000 to about 160,000. So you can kind of feel that manicness a little bit during the day, but then, after 5, a lot of people leave, and weeknights are typically, pretty mellow. So that part is nice. And then the weekends, those can be pretty busy, depending on, I'd say mainly if there's a CU football game, that is probably our biggest traffic causer throughout the city. That brings in a lot of people. So I'd say the last con is probably just the homeless population, that depending on if you've been here or not, you'll notice homeless people are around, and they typically are closer to downtown, and sometimes you'll see little camps and tents set up, but that's definitely a problem that's fairly persistent here, and I think the homeless people are drawn to the city in terms of, there's money around here, but also I feel like the police are fairly lax on letting them do whatever they're gonna do, so that's kind of a thing that, you just sort of like notice. So there's not, I guess there's all kinds of debates about how to handle homeless people, but I'd say that is definitely a part of Boulder that you will notice. All right, well, that's pretty much enough of my rambling for now. So like I said, I was born and raised here, so those are my thoughts about what life is like in Boulder. So if you have any questions about buying or selling in Boulder, if you're thinking about moving here, or if you're thinking about leaving Boulder, either way, I would like to help any way I can. If you'd like to get in touch, please call, text, or email me, and I look forward to speaking with you. And until then, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.